I would like to welcome everyone here in this room and at the screens at home to our workshop, Middle Ages, Digital and Virtual Objects and Practice, Reflections here at the Ruhr University. And we hope for an exciting day with fruitful discussions. And when I say we, I will introduce to you our team. And first of all, it's on my left side and on my right side, our colleagues Suzette van Haaren and Lena Ciochon, who coordinated, planned, and organized this day. Suzette and Lena are our researchers at our project at the Sonderforschungsbereich Virtuelle Lebenswelten, and on my right side there is my colleague Professor Klaus Oschema from Bochum and now from Paris. He holds the chair of Middle Age at the Ruhr University and leads the German Historical Institute at Paris. And my name is Bunnenberg. I'm here for the didactics and public history, and we hope we had a great workshop with you. Welcome.
Would you like to say something?
This is the part where I pick up.
Yeah.
So thanks a lot for this introduction, Christian. I want to seize the opportunity to offer my thanks already to the many people who made this event possible, not only Suzette and Lena, but also Juliet Diekamper, Johanna Laubrock sitting in the back of the room, and Hannah for supervising the technology and everything, so thank you very much for that. I wanted to tell those people in the room who are not part of the project and those people abroad and on screen a little bit about what our project, the Virtual Middle Ages, with this cryptic title, is about. Just in order to give you a very, very short idea of what we're doing, we ask questions in our project that could actually equally be applied to other periods, but we focus on the medieval period due to two circumstances. First and foremost, I'm basically a medievalist, and Christian Bunnenberg had to deal with me, and respectively, this fact. And then again, there's a more serious reason that may explain this focus. Medievalists were actually early adopters of digital methods, and on the one hand, and on the other hand, there's a quite clear-cut distinction between the period observed and the time of the observer, which kind of gets blurred when you turn to contemporary history. So in order to kind of create a laboratory where you try and analyze the introduction of virtual objects, virtual means, digital means into the field of research, medieval history seemed to us quite a pertinent choice. So in the project, we're working in a kind of threefold orientation, or three foci or perspectives we seek to apply. And in this sense, we seek to analyze the following phenomena. First and foremost, we ask whether medievalists, and mostly medieval historians, in order to be quite clear, because it changes according to disciplines, and our impression is that, for example, in archaeology or in philology, you have different states of art, actually, and developments. So medieval historians, do they work with virtual objects, and do they reflect on the methodological and theoretical repercussions of this? So that's the kind of ground truth question we ask. We seek to identify what's there as far as virtual approaches go in our discipline, which kind of ties in quite nicely with the overall construction of the SFB, which actually is based on the first or ground observation that actually the virtual is there, and now we're trying to analyze what people do with it, so we're kind of developing a meta perspective. The second question we ask in our sub-project then is, how virtual objects are actually produced and used in context in which knowledge about the Middle Ages, so the first question was about focusing on what are we doing in research in medieval history of virtual objects. Second question, building on that, how are virtual objects produced and used in context in which knowledge about the Middle Ages is presented to a larger public, but in settings that remain close to the scientific discourse, like for example exhibitions or in museums, where we could all observe the introduction of videos of immersive technologies in the presentation of historical data. In this context, we are interested, for example, in questions concerning the cooperation between historians and the technical staff that actually produce virtual reconstructions, digital models, and the like. And we had a very good example for that with the Wevels book, for example, in our videos we could watch, where we asked the question which parts of the reconstructions actually come from the scientific side and what is kind of basically for showing off, for making a nice presentation, where are the technical staff tempted to round off the picture and so forth. And finally, we seek to analyze the effects of virtual objects, especially through the use of immersive practices and technologies on historical knowledge and historical conscience on the part of the recipients. How does the experience of immersive technologies affect the perception of, well, let's call them consumers, who are no longer confronted with a narrative about the past and about past events, but become in a sort of witnesses who see historical events and participate in them. So what does that do to historical consciousness? All this should make clear that our project is not a digital humanities or digital history project in a more or less established sense. We rather seek to reflect upon current developments, technologies and their application, and in order to do so, we have to rely on the cooperation of colleagues who are active in the respective areas, who develop DH applications in order to get into contact, to get into discussion. Our hope is that in proceeding this way, our research will not only produce a better understanding of the phenomena I have briefly outlined, but that it may also contribute to bridge the gap that seems to divide projects and works in the field of DH on the one hand, and the more mainstream currents of research in medieval history on the other hand, and possibly beyond. So that's all I wanted to share with you for having a basic idea of what we are actually trying to do in our sub-project, the Virtual Middle Ages, and I pass the floor to Suzette.
Right, yeah, because based on this project, we were asked to organize a workshop, and we tried to conceive this workshop as being quite general and quite open, because we wanted to have many different people speaking about the things we are thinking about, which in the case of this workshop is mostly about the digitization of medieval heritage and the reconstruction of the medieval past, thinking about the technological innovations that are happening today or have happened in the last few years. And kind of reflecting on how this is changing, how we see the past and how we understand it, because with changing methods come also changing conclusions, changing understandings of the medieval past. So reconstructing, I said digitization, but when I'm thinking about reconstruction, obviously we also think about the virtual Middle Ages. I am thinking about the virtual Middle Ages as something that goes a little bit beyond the digital, a kind of world that is created in the imagination as much as it is created in digital spaces. So we are looking today at the objects and practices that us medievalists deal with today through the lens of academics, of museum professionals, digitization professionals, librarians, and what we would like to do in the discussion is kind of reflect on the changes, the affordances and the constraints of the digital and the virtual. So how the Middle Ages extend our virtual worlds and how this affects our understanding of the past. We have seen a lot of beautiful experts videos that we were able to watch before we came here, and will also remain online, so you'll be able to watch them after as well. And these videos range from reconstructions of medieval sites to deep machine learning, and from VR environments to new digital collections. So today's discussion consists, the day today consists of discussion between our expert panels with all different topics, but eventually we're all coming together in our love for the Middle Ages. And the discussion is hopefully, or at least what we've seen in the videos, is going to be very interdisciplinary and also very international. We have a lot of international guests, not only here in the room with us, but also definitely on Zoom. The audience is also very international, so we're very excited about the different views that we're going to get today. And then with this day we hope to contribute to the ongoing discussion about the Middle Ages in our current digital and virtual society. Lena, you can say something about the day.
Now the really important information about breaks and lunch. So at first my name is Lena Ciochon. My pronouns are she and her. And I'm also the organizer from this workshop, and I'm doing my PhD about VR representation of Middle Ages in German and Polish museums. So I will also moderate the first panel, Recreating the Medieval. But now I want to show you our plan for today. Maybe we can share also the screen. Yeah, so we're starting now until 11:15. Then we have a little break, about 15 minutes. So we have some coffee and cookies. But the people on the internet maybe think about to accept cookies. I'm not sure. It was a joke. Sorry. Okay. So after this, okay, a little bit goofy. Okay. After this, Christian Bunnenberg will moderate our session, Virtual Didactics. And then we have a big break from 1 o'clock until 2 to have lunch. Therefore, some of you got vouchers. So we can go to the Mensa or the Rote Beete, which is a vegan restaurant. And also we can go to the Q-West, but we will see. Our third session, Reading Digital Manuscripts, will be moderated by Klaus Oschema and starts from 2 o'clock until 3. And after this break, we have a break again, so also take a deep breath, about 30 minutes, and come back so that we can start refreshed at the last session, Hands-on Digital, moderated by Suzette, from 4 until 5. And after all these beautiful discussions, we are really happy to get a wrap-up by Mr. Gerhard Ludwig. Thank you for being here. And to let the long day end, there's a table reservation at Tucholsky, so you're invited to join us. We can have a talk a little bit more casually, so come and join us, also the audience. So before I want to start my first moderation, I want to say to Eric and Mareike, you can come up here. So we start our first panel. And you can leave. Thank you.